Yeah, Pre-Show Shenanigans. Finally watched Draft Day. I mean, just one of the most unrealistic movies I've ever seen. First things first, there's no such thing as a star quarterback coming out of Wisconsin. Let's just start off with that. That's when we knew the movie made no sense from the get-go. So just want to start off with that. Second, the reason the players' stocks dropped were just hilarious. God damn it, Chadwick Boseman's character already forgot the Ohio State
Vontae Mack.
Vontae Mack. He dropped for handing a ball to his sister who passed away later. I mean, what the hell? And then the coach's reaction, oh, boo-hoo, give me a break. I was like, this is the most... They're trying to stereotype the shit out of all of these different roles. Like,
you know what my favorite part of the whole movie is? What? When the Browns trade 3 second-round picks for number 6 overall in the draft.
Yeah, to go cop.
And everybody's like, oh god damn it, you just traded away all of our second rounders for the 6th overall pick in this draft. You should be fired right now.
And like, dude, what? Give me 5 minutes before you fire me. give me 5. Dude, dude, what is this?
If I was a GM and I traded 3 second rounders for the number 6 overall pick in this draft, I better be getting a goddamn raise for my job. Like, that, I mean, you
better be drafting the next, I don't know, Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa. If that was,
I mean, just in general though, 3 second rounders for a top 10 pick. Are you kidding? That's just amazing.
Some of the locations and the teams were hilarious. Like Ray Jennings, Cleveland Brown legacy, but went to Florida State. Well, what the hell? What? That's just a disconnection right there. But I would also say one of the funniest parts is when they just pull off the trade at the start of the movie to get the number 1 overall pick in the first place. The Seahawks GM is just like, Sonny, I'm just eating my pancakes, Bo Callahan, he's going to be a star. Not for us, but he's going to be a star. You should give us 3 first rounders. And Sonny's just like, let me get back to you. I'll be right back. It's like, what the hell is this? And it's like, no GM is like, I can see them sleeping in their office. I can see that, but it's like,
yeah.
No one with the first overall pick is not set in stone what they're doing with 12 hours before the draft. No one is sitting there scrambling the day of the draft, like, oh shit, should we finally move off?
It's not like they haven't been trying to trade that pick for months if they weren't going to plan on picking Bill Callahan. Just
vintage movie storytelling that right after Sonny gets the number 1 pick, the trainer's like, oh, our quarterback, what's his name?
Bo Callahan.
No.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Drew. Brian Drew.
Brian Drew. They're like,
Brian Drew.
Guess how much Brian Drew squatted? 450. It's like, dude,
no, but my favorite thing too, by the way, is they were specific. They were like, our quarterback, Brian Drew, was throwing to our wide receivers. Yeah. And then they give out the names of the wide receivers. The GM doesn't know who the fuck their star wide receiver is.
He would be aware who the receivers were.
That's just, I understand.
If Brian Drew was 5-1 before getting injured, I mean, you probably should stick with him.
Probably.
I don't know his past track record. I know he has an injury history, but hey, according to fraud alert. Not sure if you just heard that, but Fire Station across the USC just called fraud alert on Brian Drew. It's just a hilarious outcome of events. I hope they would have brought up to Sonny a little bit earlier that Brian Drew was in the best shape of his life before draft day. Before
the only thing
10 hours before the draft. That's when you bring it up to him, really?
The only thing that was fully realistic is the Browns owner trying to tank the team. Oh, that actually made sense. Made sense.
I also loved right when the Browns owner shows up to the draft itself. They asked oh, you want to sit with the team? He's like, hell no, I'm sitting with Roger.
I'm going to the back.
Of course, obviously he wasn't going to sit.
Actually, let's be honest here. The most unrealistic part of the movie is them cheering for Roger Goodell when he walks out on stage.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously they had to include that in the movie. But also another thing I was thinking about. So this movie came out in 2014. Odds are they
Yes.
probably filmed those like in-game scenes during the 2013 season. I would have loved to see the interaction between Urban Meyer and Chadwick Boseman when they were filming the Ohio State scenes. I was just thinking to myself, I was like, wow, I'm kind of surprised. I've never kind of read into like how they film those scenes at Ohio State. I'm pretty like, I guess I'm assuming they did not film this at like halftime of an Ohio State Wisconsin game, but I would assume, you know, they had some fake fans fill up the first row, the first section. We don't need to film the upper decks just so we can get, you know,
just get down here
to look like there's people like in the stands. But I'm very curious to just know how many takes it took to get those sacks and whatnot.
So
I'm just very curious how those scenes were filmed.
As an Ohio State fan, where do you think Vontae Mack ranks in your all-time linebacker list?
Well, the way it described, he was an edge rusher, and you know they didn't do their research because Ohio State doesn't run a 3-4, so our linebackers aren't edge rushers. So that also just didn't.
He was a middle linebacker. I think he was a middle linebacker.
But all of his clips were him as DN sacking,
just hitting people.
I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, if we were going to compare him to the Bosa's and Chase Young, from what I saw on tape, now Chase Young had a 3-sack performance against Wisconsin himself. Well, he didn't have a 4-sack performance. Chase Young also had some strip sacks, but I don't think he had a scoop and score for a touchdown. So I'm going to have to put Vontae Mack number 1. I'm going to have to put him number 1. Greatest edge to come out of Ohio State under Larry Johnson.
Hey, number 1 overall pick.
Also, they didn't quite point this out, but like it would have been Vontae Mack and Joey Bosa coming off the edge. Now that would have been a sight to see. That would have been something. And also interesting how they didn't highlight, you know, the loss to Clemson at the end of that year. Sammy Watkins absolutely torched Bradley Roby. Holy shit. Absolutely disgusting performance. But yeah, there were a lot of interesting storylines that year of 2013 Ohio State.
Also, just want to add, by the way, every single time the GMs are talking to each other, they're like, yeah, Sonny, this is funny. The GM of the Jaguars. They say their name is like GM of the Jaguars or
that's just not.
I don't know.
Well, obviously they'd explain.
Like
they'd be like, "All right, Sonny, you piece of shit. You know who it is." Like that's how they.
Yeah, but it's also but it's also like they're literally stating what team they like are the GM for. Like the GMs just have no idea.
It's like you could also just get context clues. You know, you could just show like a team logo in the background. We could pick up on it.
They all have the apparel of their teams on though. That's what makes it even worse.
Yeah, I also thought they had some interesting like editing decisions where. You know, they had a lot of split screen frames when like Sonny was making phone calls, but they'd have it edited so like Sonny was like in the frame of the Seahawks
with
GM
the dude.
room, even though he wasn't there. It was like interesting. Like I kind of like that. I thought I was like,
I kind of fucked with that. I kind of like that.
One thing that I've been hearing recently because Arian Foster in his podcast, they obviously bring up draft day a good amount
every year
in it.
Yeah.
But they were saying. Imagine how bad that movie would have been if they didn't have the official licensing to the NFL teams or college football teams. Like, imagine if it was like they were coming out of like, what would be a fake like Blue Mountain State? Like, literally coming out of Blue Mountain State and getting drafted by like, they wouldn't even say like Cleveland, probably. It'd probably be like the Columbus Hogs or something like
whatever those Madden fake teams are that you can like relocate to those.
Yes. No,
use
like
those.
Like they might have just gone full in, embraced the meme and done like the OG NCAA football, like FCS East, FCS West, FCS North, FCS South, just fully embrace it. Just like, we play for North State. we play for I don't know, Pacific State, like Pacific Tech,
Pacific Southern, you know.
Yeah, like we play for Midwest Tech.
like what?
Yeah, they could have fully embraced the memes there, but
yeah, we play for the Pacific Midwest.
Would have been atrocious if they didn't have the licensing. Like that was the one cool part about it, and also buying into the jokes of the Browns front office being atrocious. Like that was also very funny. Like they really bought into that. I loved that. Very, very good. But, you know, fun movie. Kind of was disappointed. Like, it would have been really cool watching that when I was in, like, 7th grade.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been, like, what, 9 9 years ago, right?
Yeah,
So
9 years ago. Holy shit. That's how old this movie is.
maybe we'll
but
get a better one soon.
just like hilarious storyline. Of
Also,
course, the
just
GM
also want to add,
banging the secretary or whoever.
just also want to add the storyline of the his mom coming in with like the ash, like the urn and everything. Like, bro, I don't know if anybody, even if you're that stressed, like, wow, like you're gonna throw a tantrum as a 45-year-old man about spreading your father's ashes on a field.
Yeah, it was some interesting
Some
overtones
interesting
and
writing.
themes in that movie, but yeah. You know what? Overall, I'd give Draft Day. If I were to give them a Rotten Tomatoes score, I would give it a 64%.
I was gonna say 65, but that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, 64%.
Still entertaining. Still entertaining.
No, entertaining.
Just really dumb. Really dumb.
It's just like I think I definitely would have enjoyed it more if I was.
I would be very happy if they tried to remake it and make it a little bit better.
Oh, Draft Day 2 is going to be excellent. Like they should have. Like they didn't have any like current NFL players in it, but
they need to do it with the Cardinals this time because now they're the shittiest team.
If it were up to me, they should have Jameis Winston as like the active starting quarterback. Like, I'm good, coach. You don't need.
I'm good.
It'd be amazing.
I got LASIK.
Jameis has a very good spot. If Jameis was in Draft Day 2, I think he'd crush that role.
What if he was the number one overall pick?
Better.
What if he was the projected number one overall
That'd
pick?
Be very funny. Or it'd be really funny if it was like they actually just got Caleb Williams to do it and like they just fully bought in. You know, Caleb's in LA. NIL, he can get paid now. He could do a movie. He could do. I mean, shit. USC, they have a football player who was in Space Jam 2, Sierra Wright. So they already got star.
They got the connections.
They already got star power on USC. But
hey, I mean, Steven Spielberg is a USC alum. Just dial him up real quick. Let's get him.
George Lucas. Maybe we got a spot for Caleb in Star Wars. Who knows?
Unfortunately, that's owned by Disney now. But anyways.
Yeah, but George Lucas connection. Maybe he could still influence them a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But yeah, we got a great episode planned for you folks. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a packed episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 115. The Lakers throttled the Warriors in Game 3 after a Game 2 loss.
Let me just fix it for you. LeBron throttled the Warriors in Game 3.
Well, not exactly. D'Lo in the first half was going off.
D'Lo did,
scoring. I don't think LeBron scored until like halfway through the second quarter. Second half, it was picked it up big. But we're recording this early before Game 4. Also, just gonna get that out of the way. Shame on us. I know.
Well, would it be a Waterboy? Would it be a Waterboy podcast episode without us recording in advance?
Podcast without hearing our incorrect predictions.
Well, that's why we give. We give like 6 predictions.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why we give 7 different outcomes for Game 4. But also Sixers were this close, Everett, very, very close to choking away Game 4. That would have been pathetic. But now the series, it comes down to Celtics blowouts and Sixers pulling out close ones. That's what that series is now. The new Suns owner proved how influential owners are and how much they can impact the outcome of a game. Dodgers picked up a big time win over the Padres after they, chirped their daddy Clayton Kershaw, and we'll get into his career stats against them later. And of course, I get to watch Bronny James in the number 1 recruit for my senior year next year at USC.
Yeah, I just want to mention one thing about Bronny James going to USC. Yeah, so hold on. Ohio State had 18 years to recruit Bronny James.
Oh, it was never going to happen.
They fumbled. You got to fumble that bag hard.
No. It was never going to happen. Like Bronny to Ohio State. Also, I think for Bronny's sake, best move of him to not pick Ohio State. And also from Bronny's perspective, I'm not even sure how much he even considered Ohio State.
He 100% didn't.
Like
100% did
the
not.
one perk I could think of Bronny going to Ohio State is that I'm pretty sure LeBron still owns his trap house in Columbus or Cleveland. So, well, if it's in Cleveland, it wouldn't really matter. But let's say he has a really sick house somewhere nearby, then Bronny has a mansion to himself.
I mean, but
it's Ohio. Everett, it is Ohio. He's also only going to be in college for
a year,
a semester and a half, not even going to finish that second semester. So if I were him, yeah, I'd go to USC. I mean, weather's nice right now. Wasn't nice
And
earlier in the year.
NIL is probably also, I mean, it's going to be massive wherever he is, but specifically at USC is probably much bigger. And USC as an overall program, I think is just a better basketball school.
I would say right now USC is a much better perspective outlook, and they also have the number 2 recruit in the class who plays Bronny's position, by the way. They have him coming, and also USC is returning their leading scorer Boogie Ellis, who is a point guard.
Is
So
Evan?
is
it Evan Mobley? By the way, is it Evan Mobley who
he was there when I was a freshman?
No. His like dad, their dad or something is
So I mean, their dad is a coach at USC who was also brought on kind of to get Evan Mobley and Isaiah Mobley to come to USC.
I saw this though
as well.
He has connections to the Cavaliers front office though, so people are talking about Bronny going back to the Cavaliers and LeBron ends his career where it started.
Well,
with,
what I'm
Cleveland.
thinking about right now, I mean, just based on the USC roster and how they have point guards who are better than Bronny on the team ahead of him, I don't know. Like
Bronny's going to start.
Like LeBron
He's going to start.
LeBron said, "Well, I don't."
It's Bronny. LeBron is going to mandate that he starts.
No, I know, but I don't think it'd be the best for a team. But he's obviously going to end up starting. We'll see how it benefits or hurts the team, but Jalen Center is going to be more packed than ever before. I don't think it's ever going to be this packed. Like when I was a freshman, Evan Mobley was there. It was very, very sick. I was at home. There weren't even fans allowed. But I got really, really into USC basketball that year. When I was a sophomore, they bring in Boogie Ellis. The legend of Drew Peterson, hashtag you just got DP'd. My love for Drew Peterson blossomed and grew. And then Isaiah Mobley left last year, bit of a down year, but Boogie's back. We have the number 2 player in the class coming as well. And now Bronny. I think there's going to be a good amount of sets with all 3 of them on the court. And USC also has a bunch of very solid guards. Kobe Johnson is like their best defender. He's like a 6'7" point guard too. So that's also an interesting dynamic. There's going to be a lot of small guys on the court for USC. It's going to be small ball. It's going to be small ball, which is kind of how college basketball is going. But it's going to be very exciting to watch. I'm assuming that, LeBron, obviously, he's publicly said multiple times his goal is to play with Bronny in the NBA. And the best way to do that is if Bronny goes one and done and leaves after next season.
Yeah.
And obviously that's LeBron's goal. But let's say in a weird, twisted world that Bronny doesn't get that notable playing time for USC, and he ends up staying, like if he stays, it's his team. Like he can run, he will be the team, but I don't think that's what LeBron wants. Even for Bronny's sake, if he's good enough and thinks he should play, then he's obviously going to want to play.
Well, LeBron is a free agent after next year, right?
Well, that's another thing. So it also lines up in that terms where LeBron can pick to sign with Bronny's team. But also, let's look at it from this perspective, Everett. Let's say Bronny doesn't get that much playing time. He isn't a first-round pick. The Lakers could just draft him. Bronny stays or LeBron stays in LA.
Yeah.
Bronny goes to the Lakers and he just stays. Like that could be another.
I mean, that's also a possibility. I think that assuming LeBron is still LeBron next year, I think that
I'm gonna go on a limb and say
team.
He will be, but
I agree. Considering he full sprinted down the court in Game 3 and blocked. I don't know who it was on the Warriors, but
oh yeah, I'm forgetting too. Whatever. Yes, I know.
Yeah, but I expect him to be. I think that teams will be willing to draft Bronny higher based on the fact that they're getting LeBron.
100%. It's a bit of a package deal.
I don't think Bronny is going to be a lottery pick unless he becomes the next incarnation of LeBron in college. But I think that he's going to be a first round pick, and we'll just see. Teams are probably going to pick him probably in the late teens. That's going to be. I also
just want to get this out there. So, of course, Bronny. That's what everyone's been talking about. Everyone's been talking about Bronny for a while now. But LeBron's younger son, Bryce Maximus, right now, at the age of 15, Bryce was taller than LeBron when he was 15 years old. So all I'm saying, I'm more of a Bryce fan myself, and I'm hoping we give Bronny his PT, we give him his love, so that Bryce also comes to USC. That's the key player in the mix here. Because I actually think Bryce could be like the number 2 recruit in the country.
Bryce also like he's got the OG LeBron build though, like the pre-bulked up LeBron build.
But yeah, he's like 6'6" right now, or 6'7".
Yeah. But like when LeBron came out of high school, too, like
I'm a Bryce guy.
He wasn't.
I'm a Bryce fan myself. What if he was just 7'2" and just
Wembanyama
like a point guard?
Wembanyama.
Literally, it'd be so funny.
People I have heard nothing about Wembanyama in like the last like 2 months. Well, yeah, I've heard nothing.
Well, I don't think he's been playing like in the past, but like he had like his like EuroLeague stuff going on. But oh my god, Wembanyama is about to change a franchise, but about to make them happy.
The Pistons are about to have starters that are all about like 6'7".
Yeah, like also I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I think it'd be very fun if instead of the NBA draft lottery, so next year they're doing the mid-season tournament. So they're gonna have like, it's literally like Premier League soccer with like the FA Cup in the middle of it. Like that's literally what it is. But what if they did during the playoffs right now? I don't know how you can get the players to buy in. Let's have a draft lottery or this mid-season tournament. It's like a playoff to get the number 1 pick. Now I can understand there'd be players on the team like, whoa. If we win these games, then I'm getting replaced. Like I'm winning these games to get replaced. Hold the phone. I can understand how it could never work, but you know,
I'm not going to lie though.
It's pretty funny now, like the ways they've tried to address it and tank it.
I have never bought into the mid-season tournament for basketball. Like for soccer, it makes sense because the whole soccer thing is the tournaments really kind of matter towards like your placements and like there's obviously big cups, like there's a big end of the year thing, but it's not like the NBA playoffs, like for the NBA finals in my mind.
I would also say like
this is US fan
things, like really at the end, like what most people like that I've asked that are like from England say like what makes it special is that a team like Ryan Reynolds' Wrexham team can end up playing Man U.
Yeah.
Like that's like the cool part of
it. I don't understand like I just haven't bought into the whole mid-season tournament for the NBA. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's going to be really lit
though when the Lakers like win a mid-season ring. Like it's
it just doesn't make sense to me because for the NBA, the finals are like is way more important, is way bigger than whatever a mid-season tournament would be. And I don't understand if it's supposed to be its own thing, if it affects your record, if it affects your playoff chances.
Pretty sure it has nothing to do with like regular season. Like it's like just to have. It's literally a way for them to compete, like, and have meaningful games in like November, December, January, and try to compete with the NFL. But good luck. Good luck with the new 5-game straight wild card week. Good luck competing with that. Oh, good luck. Oh,
I also heard, by the way, so we're obviously going to miss it. The next episode that will come out on Thursday. Thursday is the day the NFL schedule gets released. Obviously, we're going to miss it, but it's going to be really interesting to see where they put teams because I heard that they might get delayed because they're trying to like juice up the big games.
I'm also most interested in seeing like the Monday night schedule. Pretty sure this year they're doing Monday night flex scheduling, and in 2 years they're going to start Thursday night. But
if it's anything,
there could be some movement around. Some teams might be having double Monday night.
If there's anything like if it's anything like Roger Goodell in our Madden league, the Chargers will be playing 6 Thursday night games.
I mean, it is atrocious. They scheduled me for 4 Thursday night games in a season. Player safety, my ass, Roger Goodell of our hypothetical Madden league. Complete bullshit. He does not care about the safety of your 3-time Super Bowl winning champions. He does not care. Doesn't care about our health. And we have injury problems, bad ones.
Yeah, they do.
We have bad ones, so we don't need that. That's the last thing we want.
Okay,
but you know what? Leading in, so we could kind of transition to NBA here. Bronny announced his commitment 2 hours before Game 3, before. And so let's start with the good guys. The Lake Show, once again, absolutely throttled, dismantled, embarrassed the Warriors after the Warriors dismantled us in game 2. But AD was actually being aggressive. When AD's being aggressive, the Warriors have no answer for it. Get Draymond on a bunch of fouls early. Like it was when AD's a facilitator, it changes the whole thing. D'Lo was also nasty, actually hitting his open threes. My God, a beautiful sight to see. And, Bron might have not scored in the first quarter, but he picked it up, still finished with 20. So yeah, we're winning the ship. Like if you look at the whole Lakers team, it's the best team in the NBA right now. It's got to keep putting that product on the court, boys. Got to keep putting a show out there.
Also, I guarantee you there's nothing more motivating to a team than LeBron wanting a ring. Like when LeBron wants a ring, which he clearly does right now, there's nothing is stopping LeBron besides like LeBron.
Bron's on a mission right now. He's picking up, kind of reminds me a little bit seeing PJ Tucker in Joel's ear after at the end of the game, literally the Sixers, they were afraid to shoot. Joel Embiid was afraid to shoot the ball. He was in a blender. Al Horford threw him in a blender. Okay, we could transition to that series now. First things first, Sixers, Celtics, incredible. And there's no bigger winner than that game 4 going to the Sixers than the Lakers. Once again, we're the biggest winner of that series getting extended, Everett. Once again, all of our potential opponents are getting an extended series here. Very great. But Al Horford has figured out Embiid. In the fourth quarter and overtime, when Al Horford was guarding Embiid had an 18.8% shooting percentage.
So I haven't watched any of the Celtics Sixers series this far, but from what I have heard, Joel Embiid has not been playing well lately.
Yeah, so he was out game 1. James Harden went off, which obviously led to the question, are the Sixers better without the MVP, Joel Embiid? Of course, these are questions you have to ask, you have to consider. But the second Embiid comes back, I don't know what it is, but Embiid has nightmares of Al Horford every night. Literally terrifies him every night. He's his boogeyman, okay? Al Horford is Embiid's boogeyman. And Embiid is literally afraid to shoot the ball when Horford's guarding him. It's hilarious. Harden's having to bail them out right now. It's also beautiful to see Harden actually putting up some numbers in the playoffs. It's beautiful to watch. I thought after game 1, Harden was like, I gave you boys my performance. I'm done for the series. I thought he was out. But no. Harden showed up again in game 4. But overall, PJ Tucker down the stretch having to bail them out. It's pathetic. There's no killer mentality out of the MVP. It's just, that's not what you want to see if you're a Sixers fan right now. Not what you want to see. And also some slow starts for Tatum. Celtics fans are arguing over Joe Mazzulla. After game 1, he came out and said, yeah, that one's on me. I didn't really have any play calls lined up for the fourth quarter. What?
You're a coach.
The Boston
You're a coach.
Celtics. You don't have any plays drawn up. So Celtics fans right now are very concerned about Joe Mazzulla.
They're also arguing over whether or not Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum, which I have seen quite a bit of.
So in that last game, Jaylen Brown, I'm pretty sure he only shot the ball 4 times over the last 18 minutes of the game, and he was dominating in the first quarter. Got 2 fouls. They had to take him out, but he was dominating in the first half. Jason Tatum doesn't quite have that killer mentality instinct either. Like Al Horford had to hit a big time 3 near the end. Well, Tatum had a push off, which was a foul, clear foul. Pathetic by the refs. They didn't call that, but you know what? They want to extend.
It's the
Celtics.
Celtics.
Want to give the Celtics that.
It's
win.
the Celtics.
Whatever. But yeah, that series is incredible to watch. It's Celtics.
I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say the NBA, the child fan of me, wants to see the Lakers and Celtics play in the chip for the finals.
No, it'd be incredible. That's what we want.
The last time I saw that, like that literally is our childhood. Like that matchup defined your and mine childhood.
Yeah. 08, 09.
And
we lost. 09 we won it.
Didn't we play them 3 times though? I thought we played them 3 times.
1 year was the Magic. We played Dwight.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, and Jameer Nelson, kind of a sneaky lit, and Hito Turkoglu, kind of a sneaky lit Magic team. But yeah, those were the good days. Last thing, Suns Nuggets Everett. New Suns.
There's one. Sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt you. There's one thing after this. I'll start it, but go ahead.
Suns Nuggets series. The new Suns owner Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia? Is that
Ishbia?
Ishbia. Matt Ishbia executed a textbook flop. That's what they show in dictionaries. That's the diagram, the example that they show to people when teaching the art of flop. To players.
Neymar learned it from Matt Ishbia.
Literally, this is how owners should be on the sidelines. This is how you're going to influence the product on the court. This is how you're going to win over your fans when you are literally impacting the outcome of playoff games, getting star players teed up, getting Jokic teed up. That is how owners should operate in this new age of modern day sports. What do you think, Everett?
I would love to see Mark Cuban doing that on the court side. That definitely seems his kind of thing.
Mark Cuban might have to take a page out of Matt Ishbia's playbook now. Might have to copy him on that one.
You know what? Let's just get all the NFL owners. Jerry Jones, get him out of the booth. Put him on the sideline. Get Arthur Blank down on the sideline too. Let's just have everybody. Player runs into on off the field or something like that. You're tackling somebody out of bounds.
Jones could execute a phenomenal flop, and
you gotta put Jerry right there. Got to put him on the sideline. Have him go run up.
Let him get mowed over by any receiver running like a deep out route. Just have him right there.
You know what? Even if they barely go out of bounds, just kind of shove Jerry a little bit closer up there. Don't even have to touch him.
Yeah, and even Cowboys players could push
Jerry,
other players into Jerry Jones, and it'll still count for the Cowboys. The Cowboys would still get rewarded for that. So there's a lot of things we could think about here, guys. But I also just want to say, in terms of that, the Jokic technical anyway, just in general, when I was watching that game, I had that up and the Dodgers-Padres game.
Yeah.
I had my audio on the Padres-Dodgers game. So I was
was that the second game of the Dodgers Padres series, right?
No, it was last night.
It was last
game
night.
3. So I just saw a little scuffle going on in the Suns game. I'm like, well, what the hell is happening? But first things first, I don't know why Jokic was so intent on getting the ball when it was a dead ball situation. Jokic sprinted over from the court, wasting his very limited and precious energy.
Didn't the ball also go out into the crowd too? You got to get it tossed back to him.
I'm just saying, I don't know why Jokic was so intent on getting a ball during a dead ball scuffle. Jokic sprinted over to just grab the ball. You have limited amounts of energy, dude. You got to save that for the game. You get tired really fast. Don't waste your energy sprinting over for a dead ball. It doesn't matter. I don't even know why he was hustling so hard to get that ball. Literally might have been one of his most high effort moments of the entire game, trying to get that dead ball. So I don't know why Jokic was expending so much energy just trying to get that. It just made no sense to me. I was confused why Jokic even felt the need to sprint over there and get involved in that scuffle in the first place. I was just very confused.
You know what? Let Aaron Gordon go deal with that. He's athletic. We know he can
even
run.
Then.
Let Aaron Gordon
go
do it.
Dead ball situation. There was a Suns player fell into the crowd. Wasn't even a Nuggets player involved. Jokic did not need to run over there, but he did, and then he got teed up for it because textbook flop by the new Suns owner. So
perfect execution by Matt Ishbia.
Yeah. They'll literally be showing that in highlight reels to the next generation of soccer stars. They'll literally be showing it to them. So very, very impressive by Matt Ishbia.
The last thing that I had though, I was talking to you about this earlier today. So Jared Vanderbilt, before last game, obviously they're walking in, they're doing the entrance. He's on TV wearing his outfit, whatever it is, right? He spent $2,000 at this boutique store, whatever it was, on this outfit to wear to the Lakers game. And if Grant's a great editor, he'll put it on the screen here. And
on the screen right now, just found it.
He returned the entire outfit used the next day.
So this is what I just want to start off with. I don't think it's anything new for people to be, like returning outfits and stuff. I feel like there's been some other instances of like celebrities wearing stuff to like the Met Gala or some shit and then returning it. But I just want to say it's very funny that it's Jared Vanderbilt doing this.
Yeah,
that's why it's very funny.
That's why it's funny.
Or I was about to say 3-and-D guy, but realistically, he's like the Dennis Rodman of the team.
I just
and rebounding, and to see him, very funny for him to return that, because it's Jared Vanderbilt. The whole point of the pregame outfits is to like show off what you're wearing. So obviously, the whole point of it is to get some publicity on his outfit. That's why he even wears it in the first place.
But also
very funny to go see him return it.
The outfit too, by the way, wasn't even something that was like that extreme. Like it literally looked like normal clothes.
So if I have this correct, I'm pretty sure he's wearing a tank top in this. Did he return that too?
I think the whole thing. He bought the whole thing from there. He spent $2,000 on the whole thing that he's wearing. So everything that's on him at that point in time got returned.
Yeah, very, very, very funny. I saw Pat Bev had a reaction to it like, hell no, Vando, this can't be right.
I just like I just personally find hilarious because it's not like something that Cam Newton would wear, or like a suit that LeBron would wear, or even like those really nice jerseys or stuff that we see players wear.
Actually kind of sick fit. I don't know why I returned it.
But it's because Jared Vanderbilt is a rotation piece. Probably doesn't get paid that much to spend $2,000 on an outfit he's going to wear one time. But also, I think
he makes a sneaky solid amount of money.
Oh no, he 100% does. Like, I mean, he is an athlete. He makes more.
Not that crazy. He makes 13 mil.
It's still $13 million. So
no, I know, but I thought he was getting like 12 a year.
No. I don't know if he ever will be, but I find it funny that
Brooks won't. Shanghai Sharks calling your name, Dylan.
MVP season next year from Dylan Brooks.
I'm not sure if he'll be able to compete with Dwight Howard over in China. I think Dwight Howard's like literally dropping like 50.30 rebound, 15 assists, 14 block performance.
Is DeMarcus Cousins also over there, by the way?
I would not be shocked.
I think he might be
surprised.
I find it hilarious, by the way, that like for soccer, all the washed up all-star players come to the US. Like the US is the predominant place where like people come when they're like their golden years are over. Yeah. For US sports, straight to China.
DeMarcus Cousins plays for a Puerto Rican basketball team.
Oh, he's not even in like the top of the fourth league.
Even good enough for China. Wow, he's washed.
Damn, that's rough.
Yeah,
he took a massive dive.
Oh yeah, no, I mean Boogie's the man. We all love Boogie, but okay, Everett. Moving on. Padres showed Clayton Kershaw on the screen after game one. They got to Kershaw, I'll admit it. They got to him finally. And then karma bit him right back in the butt. They proceed to lose the next two and the series overall. So first things first, with Clayton Kershaw, we got to start there, Everett.
Yeah.
Tell you Clayton Kershaw's career numbers against the Padres. Okay, Clayton Kershaw is 23-10 with a 2.12 ERA just against the Padres in his career. Kershaw is the Padres' daddy. Okay, there's no other way around it. From my knowledge, I remember countless times of seeing Kershaw go up and absolutely dice the shit out of the likes of Will Myers, Hunter Renfroe, Manuel Margot. The good old Padres back in the day. The good old Dre's back then. So very interesting decision by the Padres to put that up on the screen. Very interesting. But
also just shows you also how far in their head we are.
Yeah. I mean,
the Dodgers
rent free at this.
The point. Dodgers would never be throwing some shit up like that on the jumbotron.
No, yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we hold ourselves to a high standard.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing in LA when, you've had success historically. You're not just like a sudden pop-up franchise just out of nowhere. When you actually have some history and success and some legacy. It's
also not self-claiming to be the biggest rivalry in sports. Any Dodgers fan will tell you that the Red Sox Yankees rivalry is much bigger than the Padres and Dodgers.
And even then, Dodgers
the Padres aren't even
a bigger rivalry than Dodgers.
The Padres aren't even the Dodgers' biggest rivals at all.
Exactly, not even our biggest rivals.
So, arguably the Rockies and the Diamondbacks are about the same level as the Padres.
I just want to now that I even think about it, because both the Dodgers and Giants were in New York at the time. There were the Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers all at one time in New York. There were 3 New York franchises at one time. That's a little
excessive.
Yeah, it's a little much.
A little excessive.
I think it's a little too much. But back to the game itself. Let's get back to the series.
Yeah.
Dub.
Sorry.
Let's get back to the series, Dub. I was very, very impressed with the pitching and the bullpen specifically in games 2 and 3 against the Padres. So Dustin went 6 scoreless, only giving up 3 hits, 6 Ks. Phenomenal outing from him. Julio got absolutely screwed over last night with some dropped fly balls in the first. Outman had a bad read. Mookie Betts tried to jump for a ball that he just did not need to jump for, and they had Mookie mic'd up a little bit later. They were like, was the sun a problem there? Mookie's like, no, I was just kind of stupid. Did not need to jump. That was on me. Yeah, that should have been an error. That was not a double. Don't give that to him. That was on me. But Julio got a little screwed over, but he settled in very nicely, almost went 6 innings. But this is what I was most proud of, Everett. This is what made me happy. The bullpen in 7 1/3 innings, 7 1/3, only gave up 3 hits, and Bruzdar gave up a run. But that was it. 3 hits and 1 run over 7 1/3.
Bruzdar Gratterall still hasn't really come into season form yet. Obviously,
he had a nice little stretch.
Yeah, he also is coming off of wasn't he on a rehab assignment, right? So he's just kind of getting back into the swing of things, giving him a little bit more time. Obviously, we're still in the start of the season. What I am very impressed by with is Evan Phillips, especially last night's game to end the series versus the Padres, going from the 9th into the 10th too. And obviously, I mean, coming back to take the game to extra innings, so props to the offense on that. But
Mookie taking Hader deep on a 3-1 count with 2 outs at the top of the 9th.
That's what he gets paid for.
That's the Mookie I've been waiting for. Damn it. It's May. It's Mookie's month. Okay. It's May. Damn it.
That's also like we always hear about the Dodgers leaving runners in scoring positions. They're not clutch.
Also, I would say the biggest rivalry
still an issue
right now is the Dodgers with runners.
Scoring position.
That's the biggest rivalry.
I mean, it's still an issue, but I guarantee you, even after this episode, we will still be giving the Dodgers shit for not being able to score in clutch moments because they can't. But what I do like to see is that they showed us last night that it is humanly possible for them to do. So now I have the expectation that it can happen. I know it can happen.
There's a non-0% chance that they can do it now.
It's still close to 0, but it's there.
Yeah, no. We're still more towards 0 than anything positive. But
what I am very, and I said at the start, before the start of the season, and I don't think we're going to be able to find the clip of it because it's probably buried somewhere. But I did say I was a fan of James Outman. I think that he deserved to be called up in the starting lineup, and I think that he was going to be good. And I thus far have been proved right, I think. And I'm very happy to see that James Outman is like he is showing like a lot more maturity than like you would expect out of a rookie. He's coming in clutch in moments. Obviously, he had some fielding issues, but when it comes to batting, especially, he's doing well.
Just that one error. Well, I don't even think they count as an error, but that was like that misread on that first pop fly. That was like the first bad thing I've seen him do in center field. So I've been really, really impressed with his fielding too. I mean, the strikeouts are there, but they
are there.
If he's hitting like that, I don't care. It's fine. You're allowed to strike out. I just want to see. Vargas had a good week last week. He had hit his first 2 home runs of the year last week. He had a very solid week. But also Michael Bush, we called him up. He had
He's coming in clutch.
RBI last night, and then Outman hit the 2-run shot. But Michael Bush, we have a lot of very good hitting prospects right now that we haven't given a shot. And part of me thinks instead of signing guys like David Peralta and shit, why not just call up Andy Pages? Why not just call up our prospects? Because they're hitting.
Isn't it Pages?
Oh, I thought it was Pages. It could be Pages.
It's Pages.
Maybe. It's just we have guys that can produce and hit. Now, Cartaya, I can understand, maybe not him, but I really want to see Michael Bush get some more play.
I am a little disappointed though in our pitching prospects. Obviously, Gavin Stone got called up the other week, got absolutely obliterated in his first start. And that's a little disappointing to me because considering how much of a highly regarded prospect he was for the pitching department.
Tough task going up against the Phillies. Tough task. And Bryce returned for that game. So tough task.
I just didn't think it was going to be that bad.
No. I mean, it wasn't great, but he also had some fielding things mess up, and that could screw up your confidence quick, seeing some errors. But yeah, obviously we didn't want to see that. But we're seeing our big name starters starting to come into their own here, which is good. I swear Julio does better against playoff contending teams than non-contenders. I don't know why, but I'm more confident in him against the Padres than the Cubs.
I think he plays up and down. Like that's his thing. That's why he's inconsistent.
It might be a mentality
because he plays up and down.
Pirates.
All right. Well, you can't say the Pirates this year. The Cubs you can say this year. The Pirates are good somehow, but they're good this year.
It's a very, very interesting dynamic how seeing some teams start off. The Cardinals right now, I think they're 10-24.
Are the Diamondbacks still in the start of the
Diamondbacks are only 1.5 games behind us. Padres are 3.
Okay, they lost that last
ahead of the Padres.
Yeah,
I also got a very young core, very fast core too. They swipe bases, they steal.
They also have one of the best names in all of baseball, Seth Beer, on their team. So,
Seth Beer, Corbin Carroll, Christian Walker. I like their team a lot, and they have good pitching. Zach Gallen's a very nice pitcher.
Yeah,
they're actually a little scary. Not gonna lie, like they're a team to look out for. That could be a good series this year. Kind of like some of the past years where like the Rockies and D-backs. I'm thinking Colorado, where just AL teams just out of nowhere have some good seasons. But yeah, overall, very happy with how that series turned around. Not gonna lie, I was concerned for game 1.
And also, I mean, we do I believe play against them again in a week or so. Or did we already play them?
Pull up the schedule real
quick.
And
I think it's in a couple days we play them again.
We're talking the Padres.
Dodgers. No, Padres.
Oh yeah, weekend series in LA.
I think it's this weekend. This weekend, right?
Urias, Gonsolin pitching. And then next week we're scheduled for a noon game. Dustin May, I believe is this John Gray? Sonny Gray versus Dustin. Sonny Gray versus Dustin May. May versus Gray. Oh my God.
Wait. Is that on the 17th?
Yes. The noon game.
Oh, we're in for a treat.
We're in for May.
We're in for a treat, man.
May versus Gray. Oh,
that is a treat.
That is exciting. Now I am hyped on that.
Oh man. Sonny Gray, by the way, I think still the best pitcher in MLB with ERA
in MLB right now. It's a very, very random assortment of starting pitchers with the lowest ERAs in the MLB right now. But Everett, it's time to move on to some NFL. Real quick.
I was gonna say I had a good transition. I had a good transition.
You can go.
So I just thought that this was a funny thing, and this has to do with the MLB and the NFL. Somehow Kyler Murray managed to not only get drafted by one, but two of the shittiest franchises in all of sports, in the Cardinals and the Oakland A's. I didn't think it was physically possible. Obviously, you got drafted in the first round in both, but I think that deserves like a historic accomplishment. That is a historic accomplishment.
Yeah. So the joke running around this year, people have been looking up some of the stats of former Oakland Athletics players, and they are having some career seasons right now. Matt Chapman right now has a 1040 OPS, absolute career year out of him. I'm also pretty sure that where is he? Matt Olson. Pretty sure he's also absolutely destroying it right now. Sean Murphy also has a 1050 OPS. So a bunch of former Athletics players, a bunch of former core key members to the A's are now blossoming and flourishing on their new teams. Very funny that, of course, the Braves get 2 of them for just so cheap, literally on a ransom. It's absolutely vile and disgusting how cheap.
But
these players
the bigger
are
thing, though, is somehow Kyler Murray in 2 drafts in 2 different sports managed to go to both of the crappiest teams physically possible.
Now, it's so weird how quickly the Cardinals have gone to lackluster. They made the playoffs like year 2 with Kyler.
2020, I think.
I think they made the playoffs like year 2 or 3, and then it's just been all down. Like literally, I mean, since they traded for DeAndre Hopkins,
I think it was the first year they made it. The first year with Hopkins.
I think that could have been it.
And then since then, it's just imploded. Because don't forget, I mean, there is the stat line now with your coach now. Clearly, he matters so much to me. Their head coach. What was the Cardinals' head coach name? Cliff Kingsbury.
I thought you were talking about the new guy. I'm like, I don't know the guy's name.
The Cliff. There's the stat line with Cliff Kingsbury where he was like 7-1 and then implodes in the entire second half of the season, making some boneheaded play calling. It's just hilarious. I feel terrible for Kyler Murray that that's the case, but like, it's just hilarious to me that the probability that happens. Obviously, I mean, he's a great athlete, so it's probably not that bad, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's obviously very interesting to watch how the things have how the turntables have tilted over there. But also something I found very interesting recently. Saw a clip this morning from CJ Stroud. Apparently, CJ said he felt disrespected by Ohio State going into his sophomore year, so 2 seasons ago when they brought in Quinn Ewers. And I thought this was very interesting coming out of CJ because there was literally 0 chance that Ewers could have ever won the starting job over CJ in that offseason. He wasn't an early enrollee. He got there late. There was literally no chance that Quinn Ewers was overtaking CJ. If anyone should have been pissed, it should have been current starter for Ohio State, Kyle McCord. If anyone should have been pissed because he did early enrollee. He had some time learning the offense, even though it didn't look great in the spring game last year. But hey, that's another debate. It's another topic for another day. But I thought it was interesting out of CJ. I feel like that was a little bit of a.
I kept seeing stuff coming through. It was like clearly CJ Stroud doesn't understand how recruiting works because you have to recruit a quarterback for when they leave because that's kind of how you run a program.
And also, I mean, CJ was brought in with Justin Fields.
So all I'm going to say is it's not helping his case that people already think he didn't do well on the S2 cognition test.
Well, I'm not even thinking that. Like the character concerns, you know what?
Maybe there was some credence.
Actually, no. People were saying he's uncoachable and stuff. Yeah, there was that.
Maybe.
So,
maybe.
I just thought that was interesting coming from CJ. I don't really see the problem with that, but
yeah, okay. I have a little bit here that I've come up with. We talked about the other week. We gave out our, we were asking the question of which of the teams that drafted a wide receiver to complete the trio in the first round has the best trio in the NFL, and that got me thinking.
Made me consider something.
That made me ponder the question.
Yeah,
what are the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL in 2023? So here's my top 10 list of the wide receiver rooms in the NFL for 2023.
Now, real quick before we start, I just want to say what weighs more, the wide receiver trio or the number 4 and 5 guys? How they are for some teams.
It is really dependent on if we're averaging like the trios, right? If we have the trios, let's say the 1, 2, 3 in the trios are amazing, right? They're obviously going to be put about like above. But if you have like an average 1, 2, 3, I'm going to put a team with more depth above you because on the whole scheme of things, it's just overall better, and it'll make more sense as we kind of go through the list here. But we'll see what you think of this list. I don't know how excited you're gonna be, but anyways, without further ado, are you ready? Are you ready over there?
I was just saying I just saw a tweet from Adam Schefter on some schedule changes.
Oh, okay. That
Thursday night is in effect this year.
Oh, so you can
Teams
switch.
Are not guaranteed any primetime spots, which means the Jets are going to play maybe 14 primetime games this
year. They might have the 6 consecutive Thursday night game schedule.
Oh, the Jets are playing on Sunday night.
You think they're the Sunday nights or the Thursday night games?
Well, I'm thinking more Sunday night. I think Thursday night I wouldn't even really consider.
If teams aren't guaranteed Thursday nights, please, God, Roger Goodell, do not give us a Thursday night game this year.
This is another thing. Games don't belong to networks anymore. All games are free agents. Like usually it's been Fox does NFC, CBS has ABC, or CBS has AFC. That's not really a thing anymore. That could be interesting.
Wait, was it actually divided by the conference?
It was primarily Fox carried NFC and CBS carried AFC. Like
I had no idea that was the case.
Like obviously, if there were interconference games, there's a fucking fight over who gets them. But
yeah, they're trading around prospects. You know how it is, wheeling and dealing.
Straight up, like I'll give you this Sunday night game and another one for this. Like literally, I bet that's.
I'll give you our first round pick next year for the rights to the Super Bowl.
So I'll trade a 4th in cash considerations for the rights to the Jets. Patriots.
Fuck it, I'll throw in Jim Nantz. You get Jim Nantz. Fuck it, I don't care. Take Jim Nantz.
Whoa! If you're getting Jim Nantz, then I'm also going to need to get 3 Chiefs games in that mix as well. Okay, like
throw in the Super Bowl, and we'll give you Greg Olsen.
Yeah, I mean these debates could be happening, but yeah,
that's hilarious. That might be a good clip. That's hilarious. Out.
These games are not owned anymore, so that could be interesting. Seeing
how does that work then? Or it doesn't say.
We're gonna have to wait and find out until Thursday, Everett.
Fuck around and find out.
Because
I don't
know, like because I mean historically it's always NFC if the Rams are on. It's the Rams game in LA for Fox.
I guess. I mean, it's all on YouTube now. I'm pretty sure. Like that's their primary.
So that's like where Sunday Ticket is now. That's on YouTube TV.
But that's not specific to like broadcast, I guess, right?
No, yeah, like YouTube TV. I'm pretty sure they'll still show you like the broadcast of Fox, but it's on YouTube. Like,
okay, I get what you're putting down. I get what you're saying.
But yeah. We got TV free agency now. We got broadcasting free agency. But okay, back to the wide receiver rooms.
So I don't know what you're gonna respond to this, but here we go. Top 10 wide receiver rooms in the NFL for 2023. And I'll just do 1 through 10. Seahawks, Jets, Bengals, Vikings, Dolphins, Chargers, Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys, Eagles.
In my opinion, I think the Bengals got to be above the Jets.
Really? So that's one of those things where I'm looking at the overall, like the Jets overall depth chart is crazy. It is absurdly good. And I
do think though that for that situation, like those top 10 talents on the Jets, or I mean on the Bengals.
Yeah, obviously
there Jamar and T.
Obviously Jamar T. I mean Tyler Boyd's good too, but just look at this. You're gonna forget that a couple of these guys are on the Jets though. By the way, they have Garrett Wilson, obviously your baby boy.
The baby
Alan Lazard, who's a little bit. I'd say he's above average. He's not great, but he's a little bit above average. Mecole Hardman.
I love how you can actually give a fair opinion on him now that he's not on the Packers. I love it.
They have Mecole Hardman, obviously good. Corey Davis, who can be good when he decides to actually show up. Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb. And then
Cobb's back.
And then Denzel Mims, who actually is very good. So overall, like they're 1 through 6. Like I think obviously Jamar Chase is better than Garrett Wilson as of right now. I'm sorry. And T. Higgins is pretty good.
Whoa. I'm not trying to contest that. Jamar Chase is better than Garrett Wilson. Fact. I'm not contesting that one.
But overall, outside of that, like I think that when you average out everything, the Jets are just better. Averaged out.
So who are the Seahawks 4 and 5?
So that's also where it's like those 3 players, the overall for like their
so trio, they got the boost.
They get the trio boost. They got the trio boost.
So real quick, we can quickly slightly divulge how much better is the Seahawks trio than the Bengals. I was going back and forth thinking about it. I think as of today, you'd have to give it to the Bengals, but in my opinion, Jackson Smith is about to become a top 20 receiver.
But like it's also obviously Jamar Chase is better than DK Metcalf, right?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
I would also
DK Metcalf is still
bit close.
DK Metcalf is obviously one of the best wide receivers in the league. That's not out of like we're not debating that.
Yeah,
we're not debating that.
I have my qualms with him, but yes.
Yeah, but yes. And Tyler Lockett. I mean, your words. The best 2 receiver in the league, and obviously T. Higgins is amazing.
Well, that was a bit out of. I was saying the best wide receiver 2 out of that.
Chargers, obviously T. Higgins is amazing, but in my opinion, I think Tyler Lockett is a better wide receiver than T. Higgins. He's also been in the league longer, and then JSN I think can be better than Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd's a great 3 guy, but JSN's
going to be better than Tyler. He's going to be light years better than Tyler Boyd.
When you average it out, I think that the Seahawks trio on paper is just better, and then obviously their second and third stringers aren't great, but D. Eskridge is pretty good. They'll probably sign a couple other guys. I think that just kind of asserts what like their room kind of can be. I think that when you average out the 3 of them between DK, Tyler, and JSN, it's just going to be more productive than the Bengals wide receiver room. Because although Tyler Boyd does get receptions, it really is just T. Higgins and Jamar. And on top of that, it really is just Jamar. Like unless he's covered, then T. Higgins gets more receptions. You hearing those sirens
right now? You hearing those?
No, I'm not.
You didn't get those? Oh man. According to the fire station across the street, the Bengals are not in for a good year in their receiving room. But
I thought I was going to get some flack from you for putting the Chargers at 6.
No, if I'm going to be honest, I'd actually be okay putting them lower on that list because of the lack of depth. Oh man, when Mike Williams gets hurt next year, Everett, Michael Bandy is going to be on the field.
You know what? Let's switch this up real quick. I'm looking at this. I'm doing some readjustments here. I'm looking at this. Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is the official list. You have now kind of given me some convincing. You've done a little bit of convincing. Okay.
I'm pretty Jalen Carter or not
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter. DeAndre Carter is still there. And Jalen Guyton is back.
You've convinced me a little bit. So this is actually what the top wide receiver rooms for 2023 are: Bengals, Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Dolphins, Chargers, Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys, and Eagles. So all I literally did was switch where the Bengals and the Seahawks were, but you convinced me. I've been convinced. The Bengals have the number 1 wide receiver room in the NFL.
Yeah, I think I'd give them that slight edge. I'd give them that edge.
I still think the Jets are at 2. I think that overall, like depth, like the Jets have the best depth at wide receiver.
Out all of that, that's a very impressive room.
Yeah.
One thing I was thinking though, if we are going to add tight ends to that mix, where
Vikings are 1.
Go.
Chiefs get in that list. So this is what we'll do. All right, here we go. This is gonna
because Travis Kelce matters a lot. Hate to say it.
This is everything included. Top 10 offenses in the NFL for the 2023 season.
Well, if we're doing okay. I'm
realistically
gonna be honest there.
The way that I
say it, but if you don't say Chiefs number 1, we're throwing the whole list out the roof.
Oh, they're not even the top 5.
Everett. Dude, quarterback needs to matter more than anything right now.
So the way that I went about this,
quarterback has to matter more than everything.
The way that I went about this was quarterback, wide receivers, tight end, running back. I didn't really think about the O-line at all when I'm working through this. I'm just thinking weapons.
Coaching's got to be factored in. O-line has to be factored in. Everett. There's already an asterisk on this list.
Also,
there's multiple aspects.
I think that it still works. I still think it works regardless. But also keep in mind. I know with the Chiefs. Andy Reid is like the big kind of like play guy, but they did lose Eric Bieniemy. Matt Nagy is the OC now.
It's Andy Reid's.
It's Matt Nagy. It's Matt Nagy.
Still Andy Reid's offense,
though. Okay. Here are the top 10 offenses in the NFL for the 2023 season. Eagles, Jets, Chiefs, Vikings, Dolphins, Chargers, Bengals, Lions, 49ers, Jaguars.
I'm going to have to put, I think Bengals are above us too. I'm going to be honest. It's like the one thing about the Chargers, like we don't have a run game.
You don't need to have a run. The Bengals don't have a run game either. And their tight end is Irv Smith.
Well, I forget that. It's just like Bengals got options that will be on the field.
I'm also keep in mind, like you talked about OCs and all this stuff. Kellen Moore has led the Cowboys to having top offenses in multiple years, even though it's kind of dog shit in the playoffs. But I'm expecting Kellen.
I'm excited when Austin Eckler lines up at center.
That was Mike McCarthy. That was not Kellen Moore.
Shit, that was special teams. My bad. Oh God, that'd be amazing.
But I'm expecting Kellen Moore to make your guys' offense better. That's just kind of the way that I'm thinking about it.
I'd like to be on that train as well, Everett. Thank you. I do think though that quarterbacks got to weigh a lot here. You didn't have the Bills in there, correct?
Bills are not in there.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that also, but
so here I'll redo the list.
Eagles won still.
I'll redo the list. Well, they have DeAndre Swift now. I'm a little scared of that.
I know, I still wouldn't say the Eagles have the scariest offense. I'm still more terrified by the Chiefs. That's a good reason.
AFC, NFC.
I mean the Chiefs.
But
they showed me that literally anything is possible.
Let me rerun it too. By the way, that way I'm also backed up. So when you cut this out, my head is not like on the camera.
It's okay actually that way.
But yeah, so the top 10: Eagles, Jets, Vikings. Sorry. No. Eagles, Jets, Chiefs, Vikings, Dolphins, Chargers, Bengals, Lions, 49ers, Jaguars. Jaguars are projected, in my opinion, as the 10th best offense in the NFL this year.
I mean, I have my opinions on the Jaguars. I saw how good their offense can be. So I'm not gonna complain about that one really. But yeah, I think a lot of things can happen. We'll see how it all plays out. What do you think could be a sneaky team that could be a top 10 offense that you wouldn't expect at all?
Wouldn't expect it all. So we're not even talking about the Bills, like none of the teams that could possibly be borderline.
Like I'm talking like the Saints or the Falcons. Like what the hell? No way.
I think that the Broncos could be coming back in there.
You have Seattle in there?
No. Seattle, I think, is one of those teams where they could be like 14. So I think they're kind of borderline. But out of the shit show we saw happen last year with Denver, I don't think that there's any faith. They could be up there. I think that.
Ooh, what do we think about the Broncos receiving room?
I think that they're good, but they just don't have like depth. They also are trying to trade away a couple of those players.
Is KJ Hamler hurt?
No, his ego is hurt. But
I know someone on the Broncos just got hurt like bad. I think it might have been Hamler.
I don't.
Brought that up with Shay. Like I was saying like, oh, Hamler's hurt or something. Like,
No, it was they were trying to trade away Judy, I think, or it was Cortland. Maybe it was Cortland Sutton. I think Sutton got hurt. I also think that the Falcons could get in there if Desmond Ridder plays well, and sneakily, I think the Colts could get in. I think the Colts might be able to get into a top 10 offense.
Speaking of the Colts, Everett. Oh, my goodness. So, okay, all right. The Colts, what could
I also, sorry, I just want to add, the Commanders could be at least top 12 offense this year.
Yes. Yeah. Not with Sam Howell.
Eric Bieniemy's the OC now, though.
I know Terry can do it. Curtis can help you get there.
Sam Howell looked good though. He looked good at the end of last season.
And remember, Sam Howell going into his last year in college, he was projected to go top 3. So there's that. Before his last year in college, he was going to be a top 3 pick, and then he lost it. So there is that too. There's that potential.
He's also coming from UNC, and the last quarterback was Mitch Trubisky. So
that is correct, but they have a star in the making. Drake, man. They have a star in the making. But okay.
I swear to God, if the Vikings take him next year, I'd be so upset.
I think you'd be really hyped if the Vikings got Drake May at like pick 4. I'd be very hyped if I were you.
We'll see. We'll see how this next season goes.
But Everett, apparently the Washington Commanders have literally asked every single team possible if their quarterback is available. Any notable quarterback you ever imagine. The Commanders have asked if they are available. So they asked the Chargers for a potential trade for Justin Herbert. Yeah, good luck. Good luck getting that one, buddy. But they also asked Andrew Luck if he wanted to come out of retirement, to which Jim Irsay tweeted out, anyone who tampers with Andrew Luck or attempts to contact him, it would be a clear violation of the NFL rules. You're not allowed to contact
the funniest thing too out of that, by the way, is I saw a report that said the Colts also contacted Andrew Luck last season to try and sign him. So they're just upset that another team had the same idea.
So this brings me to this thought, Everett. How good would the Colts be right now if Andrew Luck didn't retire? Andrew Luck is 33 right now. He retired 4 years ago after 2018. The year before COVID began. How good would the Colts be right now if they still had Luck?
Are we talking about current Andrew Luck where he's like shed all of his muscle mass? Or
No. We're assuming he's still stick to his NFL routine. It's just what Andrew Luck would be at 33 years old right now.
I think that the Colts last year, 2 years ago when they were making that push, or like 3 years ago when they had Phillip Rivers, and obviously Jonathan Taylor was making moves 2 years ago. I think if you threw Andrew Luck onto that team, they are possibly in the Super Bowl.
Like AFC Championship game
at a minimum. And they are pushing the Chiefs for dominance in the AFC.
And they also would have dominated the AFC South. Like they would have made the playoffs last year.
Right now, by the way, I mean, it would mess everything up because obviously, I mean, they might have still drafted Anthony Richardson if they were at that pick because, like they need the heir apparent. But the entire draft this year would have completely shifted. You would have, we're talking about Andrew Luck being a Hall of Famer at this point. He was already kind of talked about it before he retired. Obviously, his retirement kind of took that away because now he doesn't really have everything to back him up, even though he was expected to be able to be at that point. But we could be talking about Andrew Luck being one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the sport at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Luck was like one of the most highly touted quarterbacks of all time coming out of Stanford.
Do you think that that 2012 draft class is one of the not biggest busted draft classes, but one of the most kind of upsetting draft classes with the way that those players' careers went?
I'm currently looking at that draft and how it played out. Luck, RG3, Trent Richardson, Justin Blackman all in the top 5. That is hilarious. And then there's a nice stretch of players below that. Luke Kuechly, Tannehill, even Gilmore, Dontari Poe, Fletcher Cox.
But also, like,
say Michael Brockers.
Look at
Urban,
all of those.
Melvin Ingram,
Look at a majority.
Jones,
Look at a majority of those players too. By the way, even like the top
Whitney Merciless.
7. Yeah. But look at like a lot of those players in the top 7, all injury issues. Like their careers were kind of put on a hold, derailed, or retired because of injury issues. A majority of that first round.
Now that I look, it's actually a pretty good draft. Like
no, it was a great. It was a
later on.
It was a great. The draft.
Picks, my God, what the hell?
The draft itself was a phenomenal draft. But looking back on it, you're looking at all these players and what they were able to accomplish in the NFL, but the way that their careers went because of injuries or other things off the field.
Richardson
like
so funny.
Don't forget Trent Richardson was actually like very good for a minute.
I remember him at Bama. He was disgusting. It's just
but even on the Colts,
because I thought he was going to be amazing too.
On the Colts, he had like a good season though.
Trent Richardson?
Or was he on the Browns? He was on the Browns.
His first year had
I'm also thinking about this in terms of fantasy.
Yards, 12 touchdowns. So fantasy purposes, yes.
Yeah.
Then he followed that up. Got traded to the Colts, followed that up with quick math, 550 plus 350, 900 yards year 2.
Not great, but not terrible.
And then
below average.
Next year, 700 yards, then 200. And then
sorry, just look. Can you look at like the fumbling issues going on there? And
I
also
apologize. Those last 2 years were in the Canadian Football League and the Arena Football League. Those were not NFL years.
Not even 1,000 yards in the CFL. That is rough.
Exactly. But that draft, very interesting how it panned out. Everett, I believe. There's one more list. Aren't we flipping the side of the ball here?
We do have one more list. It's whether or not we want to save this for next episode, though, and it can be a little teaser for the fans. What do you think? What do you think as the co-host of this podcast?
We can rip it right now.
All right.
I got both this week. It doesn't really matter. We can rip it right now.
Okay. Okay. So obviously, we just went through the top 10 offenses in the NFL. Flip the sides of the ball real quick. Here are the top 10 defenses in the NFL for 2023. 49ers, Cowboys, the Georgia Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, Broncos, Patriots, Chargers, Commanders, and Steelers.
Did I hear Dolphins at 4?
Yes.
Wow.
Don't forget they got Jalen Ramsey now. I'm very high on that trade.
Okay.
Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips.
Just real quick, based on you had the Dolphins offense at what, like 6, 5?
6.
So the Dolphins
it's honestly
top 5 offense and defense.
It's honestly contingent on Tua not getting concussed. So
no, I wasn't even suggesting like Tua was like a problem there, but like the offense, I don't really have a problem. But so you're saying the Dolphins winning the AFC Beast over the Jets?
I think it's going to be a tight. It's going to be a tight race. I think the Jets are going to.
You're thinking the Bills might not even make the wild card.
Right now, by the way that these teams are looking, I would say the AFC Beast. The AFC Beast. Their standings are probably 1 Jets, 2 Dolphins, 3 Bills, 4 Patriots.
AFC Beast is stacked right now. We thought it was the AFC best. Nah.
What we were talking about though, like we obviously the Bills are a good team, but look at what they've done in the playoffs and when they play good teams, what happens to them? What happens to Josh Allen? Is there a siren going on?
No, we have a motorcycle crew. This is a new one. I'm not sure what this alert means.
We'll find out.
I don't know. we'll see what that one
Just
means.
wait for the day that we get the giant notification going off on your phone that there's like a weather like alert going on, and your phone just like blares out like a tornado or something like
get
that.
like an Amber Alert for just like hurricane. It's like, this does not happen here.
But yeah, so what do you think about that? So we had 49ers 1, Cowboys 2, Georgia Eagles 3, Dolphins 4, Jets 5, Broncos 6, Patriots 7, Chargers 8, Commanders 9, and Steelers 10.
I love seeing my team in there, of course. That's always nice to see. So Cowboys too. So Delon Parsons off the edge, Trevon Diggs,
Mozzie Smith on the interior now too.
Mozzie.
I think they have Malik Hooker. I think Malik's playing safety there for them.
My God. Cowboys number 2 though. Okay. All right. Who's your 3?
Georgia Eagles.
Okay.
4 is Dolphins, 5 is Jets.
They'll play that on the field themselves. Cowboys and the Eagles, they'll hash that out. We'll deal with that when we get there. I'm still Dolphins top 5. I think that's crazy.
I also I think that they're going to play a lot better this year. And I was already high on the Dolphins last season. I thought that they were doing really well. Their defense was pretty good, especially when the Vikings played them. Like, they played really well against our offense. And the Jets, I just looking at the team, like, they didn't draft that well defensively. Will McDonald was a really weird pick at 15.
I know they wanted to get Broderick
Jones. Yeah. Their defense is still phenomenal. And obviously Sauce Gardner is great, but
Williams.
I just think outside of that secondary, I think Quincy Williams is their starting middle linebacker too. But like, outside of Sauce in that secondary, there's not too many like all-star, all-pro kind of names on there. And I think that when you look at the Dolphins, we're looking at Jalen Ramsey. They have Xavier Howard. They have Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland. Like, there's all these players that make huge names for themselves. And then Christian Wilkins on the interior has been playing really well. So I think that the Dolphins have gotten better while the Jets have just kind of stayed the same.
Okay. I'm thinking I like having my Chargers in there, but we'll see the product.
I'm just going like, everybody's healthy right now. Everybody's healthy right now. If you get Khalil Mack, injuries are off.
They're off. Not when the season starts, but for today.
If this goes up in the next 24 hours, in the next 12 hours, there's some horrific injury that occurs to some player on any team, but
I care
these two
more
specifically.
About Joey Bosa's groin than many things that I should care more about in my life. Okay.
But yeah, if you have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa coming out the side, JC Jackson coming back and hopefully actually playing well, Sante Samuel, like, I'm hoping that they're going to do well, and hopefully for your sake, and I'd love to see it, Eric Kendricks comes back and actually has a good season. So
we got some veteran presence in the locker room, baby. Some much needed veteran.
Who is your defensive tackles, by the way? Do you have one?
So Austin Jackson, he'll be getting that brunt of it. He got hurt last year.
Yeah.
And then we had to throw in Morgan Fox.
No, he's not bad.
He's also going to be playing a lot inside too, but knows there's a lot of questions there. I'm not sure how much PT Tui Peloto is going to get.
He'll probably play edge. He'll probably rotate with edge.
The thing is that at USC, like, he was obviously a DN, but I have a feeling they might try to just throw him in at like 5 tech just to get him snaps.
Not nose.
No, he's not big enough to play that. But like, it'd be funny. It'd be very funny trying to watch him play nose. He'd get eaten by the center, literally swallowed whole. But maybe he could play.
Well, what I will say though is, like, with the Vikings
on the field, maybe.
The Vikings also, by the way, I guarantee you some Saints fans going to be pissed off that they're not in here. I'm sorry. But But the Vikings, when they played the Saints defense, or they played the Saints in, I think it was 2018, whenever the last time we played them, maybe it was 2019. I think it was 2019. We moved Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter on the inside, and basically they both played defensive tackle instead of edge, and absolutely slaughtered the Saints offensive line to the point they drafted Cesar Ruiz in the first round, which didn't end up very well for them.
Yeah, Michigan guy. Go figure.
Yeah. So.
Oh, but there's been a lot to go over this episode. Next episode's going to be very interesting too. We got a big game for tonight, boys. We need a dub right now. We win tonight, Everett. Series is done. Go up 3-1.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Close it out. Warriors aren't going to come back from a 3-1 deficit. Only LeBron can. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, it will be my last episode in this room, by the way. Okay. Next episode.
Will be your last episode in the room.
It'll be my last episode in this room.
Yeah, I love how the one poster you got to leave up, take down last, is the Justin Jefferson one.
Well, also there is that one too. It's never been on camera.
What is that, baseball?
No, it is Minneapolis Miracle.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw like white pants. I thought that was baseball.
Well, it is white pants.
No, I know it's Stefan, because Stefan said, screw it, I'm wearing the white tights. I'm not wearing purple tights. Kind of hard, by the way.
That is our home jersey combo, is purple and white.
Oh, I thought you guys had purple socks.
No, well, we do have purple socks, but like they
but
don't
Stefan's like, I'm not wearing the purple high socks. He wore the white.
That's not typically like they do. Mix and match. We didn't wear it. That.
Oh, I don't know why. I have a vivid memory of Stefan being like the only Viking with white tights. I'm like, that's hard. That's really sick. Like, that's really sick.
No.
But
no.
Yeah. I also want to say I do think the white socks actually look better with that uniform.
I agree with that. I
don't know why. Like, Stefan's look there, it might just be because it's Stefan Diggs and whatever he wears is naturally swaggy. So I get that. I get that added feature, but the white socks just look good with the purple uniforms.
I agree.
All I gotta say.
I forgot I was supposed to do the outro. I just completely blanked on that one.
I'm kind of stalling.
I was just kind of sitting. I was just kind of sitting here like, yeah. Anyway, with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. You can find our handles at Everett Stakes and at WaterboyGrant on Twitter, also on TikTok. Make sure to follow us there. You can follow the podcast, like we said. Make sure to subscribe, follow, favorite, download, share.
Show it to your aunt. Show it to your uncle. Show it to your cousin. Show it to everybody. Anyone you've ever met in your life.
With that, Waterboy's out.